Hello, this is Crystal Scarborough. How are you? Thank you guys for coming in and viewing the video. I've been speaking about the mindset and how to um, overcome mental drama, and I'm going to stay on that for quite a bit. Um, just so much going on that I have seen and even experienced. So just wanted to continue to talk about that in hopes that it will help you or someone that you may know. Um, so please share this out after you listen. If it's something, one thing that you can take away from it, then I've done what God has called me to do. Um, so let's look at our empower ourselves with our strength, strengthening our healing from the experiences that we have had. So I wanted to get right in and talk about overcoming dark clouds. That's a mindset if you want to overcome. Of course, it doesn't happen instantly, but for some it may. Um, Overcoming dark clouds. So when I look at that title or reflect on that title, I think of pain. I think of dark shadows, dark clouds that may hover over me or even live inside of me. Dark clouds meaning that I live in my limited beliefs. Dark clouds that of fear, dark clouds of shame, dark clouds of defeat, dark clouds of self-sabotage. And for so long, and I just want to be transparent, for quite a while, I have allowed self-sabotage keep me from even getting on the videos or even moving forward with what God has called me to do. And I mentioned this a couple of times before on some previous videos, is that I'm on video now. I'm not afraid to do this. It may not be perfect in the eyes of many, but it's perfect for the eyes of who is called to touch. And I want to help us heal, and doing it together is, to me, is the greatest thing that could ever happen to me, and I hope to you. So going back to overcoming dark clouds, which is the pain, I want to ask you a question, as I always do, right? What in your personal strength can you help heal the pain? What in your personal strength that you have inside of you that can help heal the pain? Even though the pain may be inside, there's something greater inside of you that can overtake that pain. Just like we allow things to overtake us. Example of relationships. We get ourselves in these relationships and we allow things to occur within the relationship. We may call them red flags, and we don't take action upon those. We just let them lie because either one, that we don't have enough um, self-esteem, confidence in ourselves, or maybe we don't feel worthy enough, and so we just take um, mediocre or leftovers or just settle for whatever comes our way. And so there's something greater in us that we have to allow to grow, just like we allow those other things to take place within us. Why not give ourselves a chance to live on the greater side of things, and not the side of the slippery slope that we don't ever, or we're not able to climb up on? But with the greater that's in us, we can actually look for that personal strength, such as what will it take for me to make this cake? I'm just trying to make it plain, just simple application. What does it take for me to make this cake? So I take out all the ingredients to make this cake. So if I'm short of ingredient, can I still make the cake? Or can I use my mindset of understanding on what makes a cake rise, what makes a cake taste like a cake, what makes a cake um, do what it do? So like just Nike says, just do it. What will it take? So I just want you to reflect on that. Give yourself some time. Think about that. Question: what in your personal strength that you can do to help yourself heal of this pain, so you could come out of this darkness, so you could overcome the dark clouds of the hurt, shame, defeat, etc. It's all about you. You cannot be any good to anyone if you're not good to yourself. We sacrifice, and I mentioned this before, we sacrifice so much that we allow the mental dramas of this world to take over in our thinking. And we can't make those decisions, those sound decisions that we need, that's going to move us forward. And I just want you to ponder on that. It's about your mindset. How are you thinking? And I don't want you to get stuck in the rut of, well, I'm just fine. There's nothing wrong with me. And we all can grow, right? But I just want you to think about this in your own time, when you're by yourself. Just think about it. What can you do in your personal strength to move yourself up a level, up 2 levels, up 3 levels, whatever you set a goal to even set a goal. Let's just start there. So let's just set a goal and then talk about how we can achieve that goal. Okay? I want you to be able to give yourself credit by focusing on one thing, as I just mentioned, that you can do. Give yourself credit on that one thing that you can do. So, what that does is, instead of reflecting on the pain, the suffering of it, what is that one thing that I can do that can make me feel great? So I want to feel great today. What is that one thing that I can do to make myself feel great today? Okay? Focus on that. Use that strength, that personal strength that you're going to find within you. One, and two, you're going to give yourself credit, and then focusing on that one thing that you can do great. Okay? So, and the other aspect of overcoming, dark clouds, and removing that, being stuck in that pain, that you could do is applying yourself for efforts rather than seeking out failures. So again, when I just mentioned, let's start with the one goal. That's an effort. Let's start out with one thing that we could do great, acknowledge ourselves of doing that great, and focusing on that will make us great. So what we're doing is taking our mind off of the pain, and then we're going to transfer that pain out of us and build that greatness up inside of us. So it's a milestone builder. We want to build milestones of greatness, of great things that you can do. Some people even say, and I use that occasionally too, beloved, is that those affirmations, You know, I am confident. I am empowered. I am loved. Even those, you could tell yourself those things each and every day. Those saying those words will help you build mental milestones, so you could take away that old thinking of, you know, nobody loves me, nobody cares, I will never be what I'm supposed to be. Whatever that, as I mentioned, those self-sabotaging words that we sometimes find ourselves using. Matter of fact, I heard a lady say this today. She said, oh, and she hit her head. She said, I'm so stupid. We can't do that to ourselves. So she had to get that from somewhere, and it was deeply rooted in her for her to publicly, I'm so stupid. It didn't matter where she was. You see where I'm going with this? Because whatever you have in you is going to come out of you. So it's an inward um, development of whatever it is, the pain, the hurt, defeat, the shame, it's going to come out some kind of way. Um, Another point that I saw was a lady and was standing in line, and she did this. It could just be me, but she did this thing like just telling the lady with his finger, pointing the finger. And I mentioned this before, pointing to do. And I'm like, where is that coming from? Because I don't know if I'm just so aware now, really being intentional about what I say and what I do, that my focus is just like keen on certain things. So I'm just saying we have to really watch how we are um, reacting, because our mindset is what we have in us connects to our mindset, which then comes out of our mouths and our actions. And so we really have to be cognizant of those things. Um, so again, let's overcome dark clouds by focusing on our personal strength, focusing on the one thing that we can do to make us be great, and do that with your whole heart and be intentional about doing it. And then you're going to applaud yourself for the efforts rather than seeking out failure. So none of that, what that lady did, we can't do that with ourselves. We're building ourselves to the greater good of us, because greater is he that is in me and you than he that is in this world, which we know what that is. But if we don't intentionally make those or take those efforts, then none of what we do will ever change. And I know, again, as I first said on the beginning of this video, is you may not think there's anything wrong with you, because consistency, good, bad, or indifference, it is what it is, right? But if you be consistent about losing weight, you'll lose weight. If you be consistent about not eating sugar, then you'll get over that. The taste in your palate would diminish. So, and that's what I'm struggling with now. But I'm doing it. I'm intentionally making that a lifestyle, not necessarily a habit, but a lifestyle. And that's where we want to go with our mental, our mindset, doing away with that mental drama, feeding that stuff or those things, emotions and feelings that we allow to take control of us. But now they're gonna have to ask us for permission to react that way. They cannot. Your emotions and feelings cannot, unless you got some disturbance going on up in there. But if they cannot dictate you, you have to give them permission to do that. So again, you're gonna focus on that personal strength. You're gonna focus on what you do great. And I keep repeating this. So the statistic says someone has to see something at least 10 times before they even get it, uh, the visual of it. So that goes with the hearing and the visual. So that's why I keep repeating that. So, and also you're going to applaud yourself in efforts rather than uh, seeking out failures. And then you got to think about the win. Think about the end result. I just mentioned about losing weight, right? So the big win for me could be 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, whatever that goal is that I set. I have to think about the win, and I want you to think about the win as well, because again, you're gonna focus on what changing the way that you think, changing uh, uh, the way that you allow your emotions and your feelings to dictate to you, because you, once again, have to give them permission. So we're going to think about the win. The other win could be, you walk away from that relationship that wasn't providing you any good thing, any strength, any growth. Um, it maybe it was a dictatorship, and maybe it became violent. I don't know, but now the big win for you is that you walked out of there. You went on with your life, and your life is better, or greater, or peaceful, more peaceful than it's ever been. Sometimes for me, as I always want to be transparent. Being here, I do get times where I get like, God, I feel like I'm lonely. But God always speaks to me and say, you're not alone. So again, I'm going back to letting those emotions and feelings dictate, and I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. But for God is always with me. That human connectiveness that we all need. I've learned how to go out to the mall, to the a restaurant, to wherever it is. There's plenty of people out there. So I meet people that way. And so that takes away any of that mindset. It doesn't allow me to sulk. So going back to that failure, seeking out failure, it's not allowing me to seek out that failure. It is allowing me to think of a win. Let me get up and go out there. It's beautiful. You see the light coming in from behind me. So that to me is a win. So we have to look at those things uh, that's going to help us move ourselves forward, and also recognize that you can't always be perfect. No one is perfect. So don't look at those um, mm, the perfection, because the perfection can push you into procrastination, and that's not what procrastination is a stifling type of word, and that's we don't want to get stuck in there. Again, as I mentioned before, talking about Nike check mark, just do it. That's what it is. Just do it. Don't worry about being perfect, because nothing and no one is. No, it doesn't matter what nobody else says or what nobody else think. I can't compare myself to Iyanla Vanzant. I do learn from her, but I can't compare myself to her, because she's been doing this life coach thing, this ministry thing. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say that one. But she's been doing that for quite a while. Even when the conflict became happened between her and Oprah, she still lived on. You have to pull yourself up out of bootstraps. Know that you are not perfect, which is, well, that's very good that you recognize that. Two, look at what your personal strength is. And I'm going to keep saying that and saying it over and over in this whole video. And then go to focus on what you can do great. Applaud yourself for your efforts. Don't focus on any failures. Think about the win. What is that win for? Even that win could be for the next hour, the next minute, the next second, the next hour, the next 2 hours. And you know where I'm going with that. Wherever you set that parameter for you, go ahead and do that. And then when you reach that milestone, create another one and create another one. As you achieve, create another one. Because then before you know it, you look back and you was like, oh wow, I actually did that. I have made this accomplishment for myself. And I recognize that I didn't have to live in perfection. I didn't have to live there from my mindset or anyone else's. I don't have to be that people pleaser that I thought I needed to be in order for him to love me or for her to love him, however. We don't have to be that for anyone. What happens with that is that we lose ourselves in so many ways based on the people pleasing, the victim mentality, the self sabotage mentality, and limited beliefs. And we'll talk more about limited beliefs next week. But right now, don't let the self sabotage keep you from moving forward. Okay? So I think that was all I wanted to share with you today is your mind and I'm going to steal this, whoever said this, but a mind is a terrible thing to waste. There's so many smart, intelligent, creative, innovative people in the grave. They can't share any of their knowledge anymore. Some of them have written books, so you can go back and read some books. But just the forward movement that they had is no more. So there's a lot of wisdom in the graveyard. So why not share what we can share right now, each and every day of our lives? Not being great. Let's just be great. Being all that we are called to be, all that we want to be. Even if you don't think you're called, what do you want to be? No. How do you achieve those goals if that's what you want to do? But you're great. And I want you to know that. Know your authentic self. Know your true identity. Walk in that purpose that God has for you, one, and then what you have, knowing that you are an ambassador of Christ, but you walk in your purpose. If you don't know what that is, sit down with yourself. Have a little talk with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that you would want to achieve out of this life? I don't care if you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. As long as you got breath in you, there is something that you can achieve. Even if it's sitting up on the side of the bed and you've been lying there for the last 10 days, that's an achievement. Like I said, simple things, small things make great impact. All right, guys, I love you. Remember to share this out. And again, this could be used just as affirmations on a daily basis. I just wanted to repeat that so it can get down in your spirit, man. And share it out, replay it, and I'll be back here next week. And thank you for listening. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Have a blessed day and a great rest of the week. Bye, beloved.